Hello, I'm Dr. Grace Prescott. You wake up, smell that unmistakable aroma of coffee brewing, and sip your first cup to kickstart the day with energy. But along with that pleasure, a nagging doubt worries you. Could this daily habit, which brings you so much joy, be secretly harming your prostate? Have you ever wondered if coffee might worsen your urge to urinate at night, or if it has any link to more serious issues like prostate cancer? In this video, we're diving deep into the science to uncover the entire truth about the relationship between coffee and prostate health. I'll show you what the latest studies say about its amazing benefits, including how coffee can actually help protect your prostate. But we'll also expose the downside, the risks, the myths, and the specific situations where coffee can become a real villain for men already dealing with urinary symptoms. Stick with me until the end because the knowledge you'll gain here can not only give you peace of mind, but also provide practical strategies to keep enjoying your favorite beverage safely and smartly. If you're a man who drinks coffee and cares about your health, this video is made for you. Let's discover it together. As a specialist with years of clinical experience, this is one of the most common questions I get in my office. I see the concern in the eyes of countless patients who come in with doubts about what they consume. They want to know if their daily habits, like drinking coffee, can impact prostate health. And of all the beverages we analyze, coffee undoubtedly tops the list of questions. Some fear it might intensify urinary symptoms or contribute to issues like benign prostatic hyperplasia, the famous enlarged prostate. Others, on the flip side, argue that coffee could be a protective shield, citing studies on antioxidants and compounds with powerful anti-inflammatory effects. With so much conflicting info, it's no wonder there's so much confusion. Coffee is a fascinating beverage with over 1,000 different chemical compounds in its makeup. Several of them seem to bring benefits, while others can become problematic depending on each person's health status. To understand this dynamic, we first need to talk about the prostate's importance. It may not be the body's largest organ, but its function is crucial for male health and quality of life. This walnut-sized gland sits right below the bladder and surrounds the urethra. Over time, it's common for the prostate to enlarge, become inflamed, or, in more serious cases, develop cancer. Among the most frequent symptoms are difficulty urinating, constant urgency, increased urinary frequency, and even pelvic pain. Since these conditions directly affect daily life, any factor that might influence the prostate, for better or worse, deserves our full attention. And that's where coffee's complex chemistry comes into play. If you've ever felt that energy surge after a cup, you already know caffeine. But coffee goes way beyond that. Each serving contains over 1,000 compounds, including powerful antioxidants and polyphenols. The scientific community has been dedicated to understanding how these elements interact with our bodies. Let's start with antioxidants. They help combat oxidative stress, a process we can compare to the rust on our cells caused by unstable particles called free radicals. Chronic stress like this is linked to multiple diseases, including prostate cancer. Coffee is rich in antioxidants like chlorogenic acid, which can help reduce that cellular damage. Then there are polyphenols, plant-based substances with potential anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer effects. They can positively influence metabolic health and help control inflammation levels in the body. Since persistent inflammation is a risk factor for many prostate conditions, anything that helps reduce it can be considered protective. And of course, there's caffeine, the most famous component. It activates the nervous system and boosts alertness. However, it can also produce less desirable effects, especially if overconsumed, acting as an irritant to the bladder and prostate. Let's look at what science says, starting with the potential benefits. One of the most encouraging findings is the possible reduction in risk of advanced prostate cancer. A key study published in the journal Cancer Causes and Control showed that men drinking 1 to 3 cups a day had a lower incidence of aggressive prostate tumors. Experts believe this is due to the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds I mentioned. Plus, those same compounds can have a general anti-inflammatory effect, which is great since chronic inflammation can worsen issues like prostatitis. Another fascinating point is support for metabolic health. Several studies link moderate coffee consumption to a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And why does that matter for the prostate? Because diabetes and other metabolic disorders increase the risk of benign prostatic hyperplasia. So, by helping maintain metabolic balance, coffee can indirectly contribute to prostate care. Now, let's flip the coin and talk about the potential risks and downsides. While studies show advantages, coffee can also bring complications, especially for men already facing prostate problems. This is where moderation becomes key. The first risk is irritation and worsening of symptoms. Caffeine is a natural diuretic, meaning it increases urine production. For those already dealing with an enlarged prostate or overactive bladder, this can mean even more frequent and urgent trips to the bathroom. Excessive coffee can irritate both the bladder and the prostate itself, ramping up discomfort in cases of prostatitis. The second issue is excess caffeine. What seems positive in small doses can become a problem. Going over 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, about 4 to 5 cups, can overload the body, causing jitters and insomnia. For an already sensitive urinary system, that overload can aggravate all symptoms. Finally, the impact on sleep. Good rest is essential for health. Poor sleep quality increases body-wide inflammation, indirectly affecting the prostate. If you drink coffee in the late afternoon or evening, you risk disrupting your sleep cycle. But why don't we all react the same way? The answer lies in individuality. Genetics, for example, play a role. Some people metabolize caffeine more slowly, intensifying negative effects on the urinary system. Your overall diet matters too. If you already consume spicy foods or alcohol, your bladder might be more sensitive, and coffee could be the final trigger. And of course, pre-existing conditions are key. If you have a diagnosis of prostatitis or BPH, even moderate coffee intake might worsen symptoms. Pay attention to signs like very frequent urination, urgency, weak stream, or pelvic pain. If you notice these symptoms flare up after coffee, it might be time to reassess your habits. So, how can we enjoy coffee responsibly? The good news is you don't have to cut it out completely. There are smart strategies. First, moderate your intake. Aim for 1 or 2 cups a day. If you want something warm in the afternoon, go for herbal teas. Second, try decaf coffee. It retains a good portion of the beneficial antioxidants, but with far less caffeine. It's an excellent balance. Third, pair coffee with food. Drinking it on an empty stomach can cause acidity. A meal helps buffer that. Fourth, consider temperature. Very hot drinks can be irritating. Let your coffee cool a bit. Fifth, stay well hydrated to offset the diuretic effect. And sixth, time it right. Avoid coffee later in the day to protect your sleep. Remember, coffee is just one piece of the puzzle. If you want to optimize your prostate health, look at the big picture. There are other natural allies. Saw palmetto, Serenoa repens, is often used to ease BPH symptoms. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, an essential mineral for the prostate. Green tea is loaded with catechins, powerful antioxidants, and turmeric has proven anti-inflammatory properties. On top of that, maintain wellness habits. Eat a balanced diet rich in fruits and veggies, cut back on ultra-processed foods, exercise regularly. Physical activity helps keep a healthy weight and boosts cardiovascular health. Moderate alcohol, avoid tobacco, and schedule regular medical checkups. Starting at age 50, it's crucial to get routine prostate exams with your doctor. To illustrate how these recommendations work in practice, I want to share the story of a patient with details changed for confidentiality. Manuel, a 56-year-old man, worked long hours at a computer with several cups of coffee by his side. He came to me worried about urinary frequency and pelvic discomfort. After evaluation, we found early-stage BPH. The first step was simple: adjust his caffeine intake. Instead of 5 or 6 cups, he switched to just one in the morning and herbal teas or decaf in the afternoon. We also encouraged more water and light walks. In a few weeks, Manuel reported fewer bathroom trips and felt much more comfortable. With small changes, he got significant relief without giving up his morning cup entirely. And that's the key. Small, sustained adjustments can transform your well-being. Taking care of your prostate doesn't mean giving up what you love. It's about finding the perfect balance for your body. Listen to the signals it gives you. Thank you for joining me on this informative journey. Take care of your health. Listen to your body. And remember that every choice, no matter how small, makes a big difference. See you in the next video. You have the same opportunity today. Start small, pick 1 or 2 of these habits, and add them to your routine. Which one surprised you the most or seems easiest to start today? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to hear it.